What is up, bros? We're Josh here. Today's video is all about submarines and doing an in-depth breakdown of everything we've been able to see so far on the 5th class coming to World of Warships. Hopefully give you an idea of what to look for and what to expect for this class when it hits live. You can still have time. You still have time to sign up for the PTS and go hop on there if you want. This will eventually go live and you can go on there and even do the Halloween operation or in the deep sea, both normal and hard mode. This is the first time we've actually seen hard mode operations, so you can actually go on there and try them out and play one of the 4. We've been able to unlock 4 total, 4 submarines, all play a little bit different, and all will be a lot of fun to check out and just see. But this video is going to break down this class and go over everything we've noticed so far with our chance to test them out a little bit early. So submarines have been a meme in World of Warships for a long time, even at one time them saying that they would never add submarines into the game. But here we are, and we have submarines. And really, they add a lot to this game. Not only just being the 5th class into this game, they add a lot of depth into this game, pardon the pun. But figuratively and literally, we are adding an entire new axis of actually going deep on the surface. Normally everything is played on the surface. Now this thing can actually be played under the water, which is actually kind of fun. There will be 3 different levels that the submarine can play on, and that's going to be the surface, which is going to have the highest detection, and then periscope, which is where you can also attack, and then completely submerged. Now, completely submerged, you won't be able to attack, and you'll have to manage a new resource of oxygen. So basically going into periscope and completely submerged, you will have to manage how much time you stay down there. As you can see right there next to the depth, there is a countdown timer, and then you only have that much time before you have to come all the way to the surface and then fill up on oxygen again before you can do that. As you can see, even at periscope level, you don't get a regen in oxygen, but as soon as you get to the full one, you will then get, start filling up your bar again. Also, if you do run out of oxygen, you don't take damage. It just forces your ship to come up. But there is a downside. If you are too close, things are going to be able to start focusing you and you will take damage. So managing that is going to become a skill in this ship, and you really have to worry about that. So getting in and basically going in, doing your attack and moving on, and then basically getting out, filling your oxygen, going back in, is going to be something that's going to be kind of work for it. And as you can see right there, as you go submerged, you do lose line of sight. They are still spotted on your minimap, but you don't share vision with your team. So only certain ships will be seen. As you can see, even the armaments down below are locked at the lower levels. But basically what you do is you'll go in, do some damage, and then keep rolling. So here we see a clip of the fully submerged and all the different levels that are in with that. You can actually dive very deep, and this is something we didn't really get to see too much of, and that is how the depth charges are going to work, which is basically going to be one of the biggest counters to this ship, and you really don't see too much. We didn't really get to see too much of those, and we of course we didn't get to play anything that dropped depth charges. So that's one part of this that's kind of missing, but you do get to go very deep, which is actually really cool, adding a lot of layers of play, not only just cinematically looking cool and seeing ships sink that you put torpedoes into, but getting out to play around and just look around. Now here's a quick little clip of some depth charges that do go off, and you can see them in the back. I didn't get to see any, nothing was really near ours, but you can see them explode in the background. So they're actually pretty deep, those explosions. So even at the bottom levels, you can still get hit by depth charges. Although you have the freedom of all those levels, you will be spending most of your time on the surface and then periscope levels. This is where you're going to be doing most of your damage and refilling on oxygen. And you'll be using your armament, and those are 2 different torp types. Now, it's different between the 4 submarines we got to check out, and it'll give different play styles as you go. As you can see, there's a torpedo that's launching out at blue. I don't know if these will be like this on the live server, but those are called freezing torps. Now, on most of these that have the option to have both of the torps, the freezing torp is going to do less damage, but it's faster and basically incapacitates your battleship or whatever target you're going for, and then you can then go in and launch your normal torpedoes, which will do more damage but are slower and just basically are there to just raw damage. Now we notice that massive flood chance on these torps, and then you can go in for the kill right there, but it seems like you have to be very systematic with how you go in there, freeze your target, and then do damage and then get out, or just do some damage and then roll out, submerge and then bail, come back in. One thing that was really cool is there are different play styles with a lot of these submarines, and stuff like the zipper sub, which is a 2 freezer torpedo only. This is the Gerfalcon, which the Gerfalcon actually had 1 torp in the front, which was the freezing torp in the front, so you could go in, do damage with that, and then basically turn around, and then you have torp launchers in the back. So there are different play styles for different players, which I thought was really cool. Also, you can see right here the the back and forth is a little squirrely. It was a little hard to get used to. I think it was maybe a little too touchy, and getting in and doing out. But I like the Gerfalcon a lot. I like this playstyle of going in, basically freezing the target, slowing down the target, and then turning away, doing your damage. It seemed a lot safer, but it was kind of weaker other things. Also, the oxygen levels are different on this from sub to sub, so that's something too. This one was a lot of fun though. I like setting up the freezing torps and then turning away. The one we used before, I think, was the Barracuda, and then that only had forward launching torps. So there are going to be different playstyles on what you want to do, and different torp hits, different torpedoes per different submarine are going to do different amount of damage. But it seemed like freezing torps are basically to incapacitate and do less damage, but are faster. Normal torpedoes are going to do more damage, but be slower, but most likely have like more options for it. One of the major downsides of this class is that it does have a very small health pool, and as you can see right here, my oxygen level is getting pretty low. So this is I think the first game I was playing, or one of the first games I was playing, so I wasn't the best at managing. You can even see that the ship has some secondary guns, which I thought was pretty cool, but right there, it popped me to the top, and I was really, really close to these battleships, and boom, just take massive hits. So really, you make one mistake with this, and this is not even having to deal with depth charges or anything like that. You can definitely be in trouble, and then you have to bail. So that's one thing to get used to in managing this new resource that is oxygen, and that'll be kind of a trick to get used to. Also, you can see right here, we are getting radared by this the chappie from it. And one thing you're gonna have to do is then have to deal with that. So getting used to that, getting used to radars, sonars, other stuff like that will be a bit of a problem. But all you have to do is basically just chill, kind of run. You can obviously dodge, and you'll see me dodge some damage right here when we dive underwater. Once that goes down, you can get lit on fire too. And that was one thing that's kind of funny is here we go, diving down and dodging some damage. As you can see, they can't really do much damage from the launchers if you go underwater, which was something that could be kind of I wouldn't say abused, but if you got used to it. As you can see right here, we're going to dive under these torps as well. There weren't many captain skills you could actually use because a lot of them didn't have the key, and you can even see a depth charge in the back there as well. There weren't many captain skills you could use because they're just the normal captain skills, and submarines aren't included in the tooltips. But getting a captain ready, so some of my captains have like fire prevention and like massive survivability levels and stuff like that, which was overall kind of funny to do. There which wasn't much to put your points in, but something like incoming fire alert would be fantastic for this this ship or this class, because if you could do that, just basically you dive underwater and then you're kind of good and you avoid the damage. But really getting used to managing that oxygen and really taking advantage of getting your strike in, depending on whatever class you want to play, getting your strike in, getting your damage in, and you can be amazing. But here you kind of see just the strength of this class and how crazy it is you can kind of corral ships in and just watch the damage over this short little round right here. Just absolutely, we were about 150 at the start. You'll see me just absolutely corral these ships in, and that's what you can kind of do with this class, is use those freezing torpedoes to get them into position, and then put freezing torpedoes on one guy, slow them down, get your back torpedoes on the other. As you see here, there's 3 different launchers, so there's 1 with the freezing torp and 2 with normal torps, and they have a pretty fast. They're about 50 seconds on the actual reload of a single torp launcher. They're actually pretty quick, and so there you go. And the one thing is, it's only 1 torpedo from each launcher at first. They may introduce, who knows, multi-torp launchers at some time, but the ones we got to see, it was only singles. And just going in and basically just absolutely wrecking face on this, and we went from 150k to 300k within a minute or something like that. It's a lot of damage. The one thing is you can get extremely close, so your hit ratio for torpedoes is going to be extremely high. Some of these things, detectability at periscope is 2 kilometers, which is super low. So that's why you need to get in, get that oxygen level high enough, make your strike, and then keep rolling. But overall, this class I thought was actually pretty fun. I actually enjoyed it. We played it with some of our clanmates, and we got to go in and do the operation, and we even went out and 5-starred it. I think we're super far away, honestly, super far away from ever seeing this in PvP. They've even talked about in PvP is a long ways away, and we're mainly just doing a pretty awesome test, because pretty much we're just going out there. This is a major test for them to test out this new class, and really it's just a way to see if the damage model works, and it definitely does. I think overall it was a lot of fun, and it definitely was a success. It's crazy to see something that we didn't really expect coming be almost this polished. It's a lot more polished than stuff we've seen like from the CV rework. So this is definitely something that is, I would say, pretty near to where it is. But the reason that I don't see this coming to PvP anytime soon, and they've even mentioned that it's not really coming anytime soon, is that we're missing a whole counterplay to this. So again, we didn't really see too many of the depth charges, and we didn't get to play anything that dropped depth charges. We don't know how those are going to work. So a lot of the counterplay to this is something that we haven't seen yet. So that's why I'm kind of banking on this to be a little kind of a PvE only thing for a while. As you can see here, we just kind of are whooping on Rasputin. So I would expect to see this purely in PvE for a long time. What they're wanting to do, adding depth charges in as a counter, adding sonar in, and making you know, different things happen, I think is a long process, and it will eventually come. But for what we're seeing right now, though, I think it's pretty awesome. I think it was a lot of fun. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of this class, if you guys enjoyed it, and I'm interested to see what you guys think. That's it for me, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.